This video demonstrates how to use iPerspective Mobile, which is a client of iPerspective Web Services. So iPerspective is an environment, browser-based development environment for the creation of web services. And so on the left-hand side, you can see that we have data sources. These can be Oracle databases, MySQL, SQL Server, any number of databases. And we can introspect objects in those underlying databases. We can take those objects and we can place them into an application server, and what we have on the right, you can see I have a number of different services that are in different packages or ear files in the app server world. And so, for example, the Office set of services, you can see there are a whole host of web services in here. Customer information, customers count by state. We've got order information. So these are views, for example, that I drug from this Oracle database into my package within iPerspective. And I can click on any one of these services. These are RESTful services because the Android client, for example, likes to consume RESTful services, and I can look at the results, RESTful JSON service data. And so what you see here is that I have a whole host of services grouped together by into packages. And we have one for schools, for example, one for the enterprise or enhanced recovery, another company that is in the short sale of homes business. So we have a number of different services out here that are JSON RESTful services. And so what we did was we created a client, the iPerspective mobile client, and this interface that you see here is actually a Google Android, or in this case an actual Droid phone that we're emulating. So I'm going to log out of this application, and you're going to see in this case I get to pick the portal, which is effectively picking which grouping of services I actually want to use, which package of services I want to use. So I'm going to say we'll go ahead and select the Office Supply one first so that you get a feel for that. And I'm going to authenticate into that set of services, and you're going to see a dashboard just like the one that we saw here just a second ago, where we have some order information. And what we're doing is I'm sorry, try that again. I shouldn't have hit the back button. Just trying to get rid of the keyboard there. We're going to have some order information, and we're going to see that information summarized in a variety of ways, and we're going to see drill through capabilities as well. So what we see here is we've got some order information by customer. This person, Eugene, has purchased $2,700 in men's items. John has purchased men's, women's, and accessories. And if I want to look at what John has actually purchased, I can click on it, drill through. This is drilling through into additional service data to give me the actual orders that John has placed. We can also see that we've got product information here, and the product information can be drilled into as well. So we can drill into any one of these items and see all the customers who've ordered a blouse, for example. And then you can see I've got the 3 top customers listed, and I've got the customers by state in a polar chart, and we've got another type of chart that shows us the top 5 order dates, and we can see the dollars by date. We can see sales by category, we can see sales by month, and we're breaking it out into all the different series in a stacked bar chart. So you wonder, well, how would the user go about creating all of the objects that you see here on the page? Well, we can pre-configure that for the users. The way we would pre-configure it is the same way that a user would do it. We come in here, we click on menu, and we say we want to add a new item to the dashboard. We want to add, what is it we want to add? Well, let's say that we want to add in sales data by month by category, and we want to do it in a chart format, and we're going to do it in a funnel chart, for example. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pick men's information in this funnel chart, and we're going to choose that we want the month and year to be part of it. And we could pick additional series, and we can call this sales by month demo, and I can say add the funnel chart to the dashboard. And now we're going to find a funnel chart is within here, and I can go in and I can configure nested services, and I can configure so you can see the biggest month was December, and then we had January that was a little smaller, and February that was a little bit smaller. So we get to see the actual data by month in a funnel format so that we can see exactly how the data lines out. As a user, this particular item on my dashboard, we call them broadcasts, is showing up only for me. I could save it. I can go in and save it for all the users within here. So if I say I want to delete something, here was the one I just added, sales by month, and the demo. I delete it. Now it's no longer there. We're saving the metadata about what kind of service or how you want to display the service. Is it in a table like you see here where we see a whole bunch of information? Is it in a graph? Is it, you saw other options here. We can pick the object, and then we can say we want to do it in a list, in a table, in a map. If we say we want to do it in a map, we can pick where the fields actually come from, one address line, fields that contain the lat and long. If I say one address line, then I get to pick the field that contains the address information. Then I get to pick the field that I want to display as the title on the little boxes on the map, and then the description, say add to dashboard, and it'll display it'll do a geocoded lookup. So a lot of functionality within this client application, but what it's doing behind the scenes is it's really reading the services that exist within iPerspective. So we have another one called schools here. If I go into schools and I say I want to select that particular portal, I want to see all the services in the schools portal, I can log in as a user here. And when I log in, I'm going to see my students for Douglas County Schools. I can click on a student, and if I add a new service in this dashboard, I'm going to see that new service show up. So you're going to see when I click on add to dashboard, I see only one service is available here, versus in the other dashboard all those different services were available. So if I went in here to the schools package, here are all the different things that I've done, added. I actually have nested these, and the only top level one is the kids service, and so that's the only option that I see. But when I click on Graham, for example, I get to see Graham's activities that he has coming up. I get to see the classes that he's in. I get to see his grades in a graph. So I've pre-configured this information. It's a bubble chart in this case, and I can drill into all this information. So I've created these apps. I've been able to create these apps that allow me to drill into information, to drill into maps, to drill into the data, to report an absence for this particular student, all within a matter of minutes, just connecting up the data. iPerspective exposes the information, and I create an app on top of it by doing that through a interface that is nothing more than an Android client that is doing that for me. And it'll go out in this case, and it's going to look up the address of the location that I clicked on, and you can see it's searching for that here, and I can click on that and say, okay, I'd like to know how to get to East High School, and I can get navigation, driving directions. If there's point of view or street view available, I can look at that as well. Thank you for watching.